The 780 Handheld HDMI Test Instrument. The 780 Handheld HDMI Test Instrument is a battery-powered portable multimedia pattern generator and analysis tool that enables you to conduct quick on-site verification testing of your HDMI system and analog video displays. HDMI DDC monitoring. The 780 enables you to monitor the events and transactions during a connection sequence between HDMI devices. You can monitor the 5V and hot plug events, as well as the EDID and HDCP authentication transactions. Two options are supported: 1. Emulation monitoring, and 2. Passive monitoring. The emulation monitoring option enables you to use the 780 as a known good HDMI device and monitor the connection sequence events and transactions between it and another HDMI devices in the HDMI installation. For example, the 780 can emulate an HDMI source device, enabling you to monitor the 5V and hot plug events and the HDCP and EDID transactions between the 780 and the display device or repeater device connected to a display device, the upstream side of an HDMI system. Alternatively, the 780 can emulate an HDMI display device. You can also use the 780 to emulate both an HDMI source and display device to monitor the events and transactions on both the upstream and downstream sides of a repeater device, such as an AV receiver. The passive monitoring option enables you to view the upstream and downstream connection sequence events and transactions of an existing HDMI installation comprised of multiple devices. For example, you can connect the 780 to an HDMI source, AV receiver, and display device and monitor the events and transactions between these devices passively. The passive monitoring option enables you to passively monitor on one side of an HDMI system and monitor while emulating a device on the other side. For example, you can use the 780 to emulate a known good HDMI source device and monitor the upstream events and transactions between the 780 and the input side of an AV receiver, while passively monitoring the downstream events and transactions between the output of the AV receiver and the display device. Whether you are monitoring the emulation mode or the passive monitoring mode, the upstream and downstream events and transactions are integrated and interleaved within the 780 display window. You can select any transaction and view the details of the transaction. For example, you can select an HDCP read response of the BCAPS register and view its details. Once you've captured the transaction data, you can save the data file to your PC, where it can be sent to other subject matter experts for analysis. Visit Quantum Data's webpage to learn more about the rich feature set of the 780 Handheld Test Instrument.